So the Fall of the Lich King Icecrown Citadel patch is coming very soon, and a random dungeon finder is definitely going to be in this patch, so it's time to talk about the consequences that this will have for the game. I think on a majority, people have no issue with the Dungeon Finder, and most people are actually looking forward to it. You know, it streamlines and speeds up the process of finding a group. It also makes it much easier to find a group when you're low gear score, for instance, when you're gearing up an alt. It obviously gives people content to actually do when you're not raid logging. It makes it way easier to find groups and experience the dungeon content while you're leveling. Those are the positives, but it's important to discuss the negatives. When the Dungeon Finder was implemented, it totally killed the open world of the World of Warcraft, particularly during the leveling journey. All the people did was sit in Stormwind or Orgrimmar and queue RDF. When the feature became cross-server, the social community aspect of the game simply didn't exist anymore, because you didn't even bother to interact with people on your server while leveling. There was just no point. By the way guys, if you are going to be playing hardcore servers on the 24th, the hardcore experts over at RestXP have made an ultra safe leveling guide. You'll find all the information about that in the description down below along with a cheeky discount code, but it is important to address the hate I've been receiving for promoting RestXP. The very simple truth is I could not be a full-time YouTuber without an affiliate deal. Blame the UK economy, I really don't give a f***. I need to keep a roof over my head. But anyway, moving on. As I've talked about in my recent video, I've started leveling on a new server. I've been out in the open world grouping up with people for group quests and adding people to my friend list to do dungeons later. I actually met this group of friends who have just returned to the game and are planning to do raiding when they get to level 80, and they said I'm more than welcome to join them. There's easily 5 people on my friend list who, immediately after I've logged in, either me or them are whispering each other to ask if they want to do a dungeon today. Now, with a Dungeon Finder in the game, cozy community moments like this just won't happen anymore. Nowhere near as much anyway, because most people just pump and dump RDF without even speaking. But the sad thing is, most people watching this video right now just don't care about this at all. Look at how many dislikes I'm probably going to get on this video just for expressing my opinion. My estimate is going to be 80 to 20% like to dislike ratio, possibly even worse. I think people massively overestimate just how much true vanilla classic Andy nerds are still playing RAF Classic. It's painfully obvious to see when you consider the rising popularity of Classic Era, Classic Plus servers, and the GDKP epidemic in RAF Classic. The Classic audience is going back to vanilla, and the retail raid logging gold obsessed audience is taking over the game. Blizzard have actually addressed the topic of GDKPs in a recent interview and basically said even if they wanted to ban it, they wouldn't be able to. Which speaks volumes about how much the company cares about Classic. They would give up before they would even try. By the way guys, if you want to improve your passes in RAF, I've just revamped my big spreadsheet for all the best weak auras for every single class in the game. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel and check out the subscriber only trailer. I don't know about you guys, but I just really don't feel like Classic WoW is Classic anymore. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. GDKPs are definitely a bad thing, but as Classic gets closer to retail, I mean, what did we expect to happen? As the game becomes more like retail, it's going to attract a more retail-minded audience and detract the Classic audience. As Classic evolves, the game is going to be better and worse for different reasons within the minds of different players. It's simply going to be a different product. It's no longer going to be a cozy, old-school MMO anymore. I don't think this is the end of the world, because at the end of the day we do have Classic Era servers, and hopefully fresh seasonal vanilla servers in the future. There's also great Classic Plus private servers out there, which honestly are doing a better job than Blizzard by a country mile. But back to the topic of RDF, my worries is that with it implemented into the game, the open world will die, because the urge to press the RDF button will just be too strong for players, particularly while leveling, since it's such a convenient and easy way to level up. In my opinion, there should be a limit to how much you can use the RDF tool, except for when you are max level obviously. Something similar to how hardcore servers have a daily cap on dungeons, Otherwise, players just won't even bother to go into the open world. And this will be even more tragic when you consider classic Cataclysm, because at that point the zones get revamped. People won't even get to see that content. There should also be incentives to level in the open world so that the open world doesn't die, like the Joyous Journey's 50% experience bonus. Make this permanent for quests. Add new interesting world events to the open world like the Scourge invasions and world bosses. Rather than just implementing a feature to skip the open world content, why not remaster and improve the open world? Blizzard have made great changes to the endgame in Wrath of the Lich King Classic with the addition of more difficult dungeon content. Why not also extend these changes and ideas to the leveling journey also? Because if the leveling journey is crap, 1, people might just not play the game in the first place, and 2, people aren't going to stick around to endgame and be a long-term player of the game if they get bored at level 50. I think it's important to have a variety of different kinds of content for the leveling journey. Open world content, yes, dungeon content, and also maybe PvP. They need to buff the amount of experience you get from battlegrounds. My biggest fear is that when RDF is out, 90% of players are just going to be spamming RDF constantly, rather than going out into the open world, making friends and going on adventures, which is what MMOs should be all about. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. My name is Metagoblin. Until the next video, ciao.